Yeah, we are live. Guys, we have to switch the platform to Melon. I think there is some issue with this floating because Yas camera cannot be captured. So we have to switch it
Yeah,
to Melon. So don't worry. Let's do some housekeeping. Okay, there's nobody here yet because I think everybody was waiting in the other platform.
yeah, they must have been on the other link, right? So
Okay, we
yeah,
see Jadip.
that's fine.
Okay, Jadip, if you see us, can you please go to the what they call the chat in our Facebook group in our post and tell everybody to come to this Melon app, post because we can't see that in the Facebook group, so we have to depend on you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wait for a while. Hold on. Okay, guys, please click this link melonapp.com/Facebook so that you give permission to Melon to show your name as well as your profile photo in the chat. Okay. Let me see the. Yes, can you see the Facebook group there?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see melonapp.com/Facebook to give Melon permission.
No, in the
That's what I can
Facebook group,
see
have
right
you
now.
see our
And I
live stream?
can yes, I can see the live stream in the Facebook book that began, but I'm receiving some comments and messages on Facebook saying that they are waiting on some people I think are waiting on YouTube and some people are on the other link.
Yeah,
And so
correct.
that's a challenge. I also received a notification. I also got a notification saying
Okay,
that you're
yeah, I
live
saw
now.
that already.
Just on Facebook saying that they're waiting on some people. I think so that's fine. And I also received a note.
Okay, I see Jadib, Chaitanya, Bawin, and as well as Latif Mia. Okay, guys, can you please inform the other guys in the other post that's supposed to be in this floating live to come over to this post so that we can actually start this live
Yeah,
stream webinar straight away. Sorry guys, this is technical problem that is beyond our control because Yas camera cannot be captured on his side. I only can see myself, I cannot see him, so there's no point to continue there.
yeah. There
Okay
was some
guys.
challenge with the camera and the Flutin app that we were using. Probably both of them didn't like each other, so we were not able to get the camera to talk to Flutin,
Mhm.
and that's why we had to kind of scramble and get this new link. And so sorry for that. Sorry for that inconvenience.
Mhm. Yeah, we see some of the name like Hassan Javed and Eran Soa. Can you please click the link in the this seen in the Facebook group melon.com/Facebook to give permission to Melon to show your name as well as profile photo in the chat. That is important because we can actually see who is talking.
Yeah.
Okay, while we are waiting for other guys, let's warm up the stage first. And yeah,
Yeah.
this is the third webinar that I'm having with this Yas. And Yas has been gracious to do this kind of a master class, to follow one topic to another. So today's topic is actually cold email engine. So you should know that
Mhm.
in any CRM or you are doing business, you're prospecting. There is no what they call unavoidable to send cold email or maybe cold calling people. So in this world of
Yeah.
IT, cold email engine is very important, and we are here
Yeah.
today to explore how to actually create a cold email engine that works and is effective. And we have Yas here from Clientjoy CRM to tell us or maybe to share with us his experience and his template, with all of you. So yes, are we able to start now?
Yeah, absolutely. I just share my screen. Just let me know. Are you able to see my screen? And
Yes,
is my
the screen
screen
is here.
on the presentation?
Okay, so before you share your presentation, because there might be some other
Mhm.
people who actually do not know you, can you just briefly tell
Mhm.
the audience who are you, where are you from, what company are you from, that kind
Yeah.
of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Albert, that is actually the part of the presentation itself. And so, so I typically start off the presentation with some amount of introduction. I never presume that people who are watching this know me or the kind of work that I do. So I always make it a point that I offer some amount of context in terms of the journey that I've had, and a little more context on the kind of company that I'm building as well. So a little about me. I'm an ex-investment banker and a mechanical engineer who's working with a super effective team on a mission of helping a million agencies and freelancers grow their business, manage their clients, and fulfill their projects. Right. And before this, I owned and ran an IT service company, a tech agency of sorts. We scaled that from a two people team to a 55 people team, where we offered SaaS, where we offered building SaaS, fintech, and e-commerce applications. We also won a couple of awards while we were doing that, and as of now, we run Clientjoy, which is essentially a B2B SaaS product. Right, a little around Clientjoy. Clientjoy, as of now, helps over 4,000 agencies and 9,000 freelancers in 90 plus countries grow their business and manage their clients. We do that by offering a visual sales pipeline with email sequencing and scheduler. We help you e-sign your proposals, estimates, quote, and contract. We help you get paid on time with invoices, payments, and automations, with recurring invoices, subscription management, and so on and so forth. We help you do that by helping you manage your clients and helping you build a completely customized client portal, and we integrate with 3,000 odd applications as well. We've had a couple of badges from G2, Capterra, Google, and Trustpilot as well. We are one of the high performer for summer 2022, and we are preferred partners with Payoneer, PayPal, and Stripe. Right, so that's a little around who I am, what my journey has been, and what we are trying to do as of now with Clientjoy as well. And so everything that I'm about to share, as far as cold emailing is concerned, is going to come from that context, right? So when we used to run an IT agency, we scaled it from a two people team to a 55 people team. We had large enterprise customers. We also had medium and SMEs who were also our customers, and we also had startups who were our customers, most of whom were acquired with cold emails, and then some percentage of that kind of kept giving us more work, and some percentage of that also ended up referring us to future clients or future or other prospects as well, right? And so we've done cold emailing for half a decade. We've been doing cold emailing for Clientjoy as well, and that's primarily what we are going to talk about, right? Why should you think about cold emails to acquire prospects? Why? How do you set up your cold email engine? How do you acquire accurate databases? How you should go around experimenting and testing, which is where I'll also share some of the samples of the emails that we've written. And then towards the end, I'll share with you some resources that are completely for free, that you can use in any which way that you want. And so before we start with this, the presentation, let's talk about why should you consider cold emailing as one of the ways to acquire prospects or leads, or qualify your leads, right? So there are three things about that. So the first is that cold email campaigns are predictable. They're super predictable. So once you've run all of your campaigns, once you've run all of your experiments, then you know that if you send out emails to, let's say, 1,000 people, 600 of them end up opening the email, 150 of them end up replying to that email, and you get, let's say, 7 to 10 bookings, and out of those 7 to 10 bookings, you're able to convert one or two clients, right? So these numbers could be very different for you, but the point being that if your top of the funnel is 1,000 people, you know that you'll get a sale. You know that you'll get two sales qualified leads out of that, or five sales qualified leads out of that, and so that makes your complete process super predictable. And then depending on the amount of sales reps that you have, and the process that you set up, the quality of leads that you have, the average ticket size, the closure rates, etc., it helps you make your cash flow very, very predictable, right? So that's number one. The second is that this channel essentially targets your prospects where they're spending a large amount of their time and where they're giving a lot of their attention, right? So when they're checking out their email, they are putting in a lot of their time and attention while going through that. And so this is one of those very few channels where a prospect is not just glancing through things or scrolling mindlessly, but where they are actually reading things, and they are giving attention to things. And the other thing is the fact that it is scalable, right? So again, as I shared with you before, depending on the number of sales reps that you have, this process can scale up or scale down, and completely kind of can adhere to the stage of the organization or the agency where you are, right? So these are three key benefits: predictable, scalable, and it is happening at a place where your prospects are spending some amount of time and are giving their attention as well, right? Now, the first thing right off the bat that I want to clarify is the fact that cold emails are not difficult, right? They are made to sound complex, they are made to sound hard, because that's how consultants can sell you their plans and coaches can sell you their courses, right? Cold emailing is just common sense, right? And we'll see how it is, and we'll see how you can make your cold emailing journey better as well. And so there are two key things that you need to remember. The first one is that if you're doing diligent experiments, and second, if you are consistently measuring the outcome, and then kind of using the outcome or the measurement of the outcome to kind of inform your experiments, and then if you're working in that loop, then anyone can bring in the results, right? And so cold emailing it's not a skill that you're born with. It's a skill that can be learned, that can be acquired, and is a practice. How a doctor practices medicine and how a lawyer practices law, a marketer or a salesperson can also practice cold emailing, right? And so that's one of the things that I want to mention right away, that it's not difficult, it's not hard, it's not at all super complicated. It is a learned skill where you need some amount of practice, and diligent experiments and consistent measurement will help you get results as well. Right now, these are six, and then there are some other ways as well, but these are six typical ways in which most people end up using cold email or cold email marketing, or cold email funnel building. So the first is of course sales, right? The second is if you're in SEO and if you want to reach out to a lot of people and you're looking to build links with relevant people or with relevant articles or relevant websites, you could use cold emails for that. I've personally used cold emails to raise funds for Clientjoy as well. We raised 3 rounds of equity financing. All three of them came in through cold emailing to a list of investors. You could use it for recruitment. So if you receive a pool of candidates and you want to attract a great pool of candidates, you want to stand out, you can use cold emails for that. If you're running some sort of an influencer marketing campaign where you've created a list of 500 influencers or something like that, you can also start reaching out with cold emails and start pitching your offer to these influencers. And the last one, but not the least, is job hunting, right? If you're not running an agency, if you're not a freelancer, you're just hunting for jobs, you can stand out with your job application by writing good, great cold emails and building an engine around that as well, right? So there are a couple of other ways as well, but primarily you could use them for these six odd ways, to get the results that you are looking for. Now, again, before we start about setting up cold email campaigns, there are three key things that you should keep in mind. The first is that it is super, super important to have complete grasp of who your ideal client is, right? So you need to have total and complete understanding of your ideal client persona, what they think and feel, what they say and do, what they like and don't like, about the services that you're offering. And so a simple example could be, if you are a performance marketing agency that is targeting enterprises that have owners that are 50 plus years, then one of the things that you should know about your target market, or one of the things that you should know about your ICP, is that they find all the data gathering to be super complicated, right? This is just one example, but then you need to understand what are these different characteristics about your ICP. And it is not just about their location and their gender and their age and their preferences and stuff like that. It has to be very specific about the services that you're offering. The second is writing copies, and how do you write copies, right? So like basic rule of copy, wherever it is that you're writing a copy, whether it is a book, a blog post, or your website, is always under promise and over deliver. Never ever make promises that you cannot stand true to. But basis your testimonials, existing interaction with your existing clients, and case studies, figure out how your services are perceived by your clients, right? So a lot of times your services are perceived very differently than what they actually are. So, as an example, let's say if you're an SEO agency, if you're a great SEO agency, while your services are centered, or your cost structures internally might be centered around backlink building and writing blogs and keyword research and so on and so forth, your clients might not be thinking about your services in those terms, right? And so, even your copy for your future prospects also has to be according to what your existing clients are thinking about your services. And so, basis whatever they are telling you about what they like about you, don't like about you, what they think about working with you, figure out what are some of those key pain points that you think will resonate with your future prospects, right? So, as an example, if you go to the Clientjoy website, and we're going to name Clientjoy a couple of times in this session, because there are just a lot of examples where I need to kind of bring that in. If you go to the Clientjoy website, on the home page, we are not saying that replace 5 tools with one. We're not saying that it's a business management system, or anything like that, right? We're one of the things that we realized when we looked at our testimonials and case studies was that a lot of people loved the fact that it was simpler than most of the CRMs that exist out there in the world, and the fact that it was more powerful than an Excel or a spreadsheet, or doing managing your CRM on a spreadsheet, right? And so that's exactly what our website homepage says. Right? And so it's not about the client portal or the white labeling or the number of users that we're offering or the amount of features that we have or the pace at which we're developing or the speed of the software that people love. But what people love is the fact that it's simple to use, and it's more powerful than using spreadsheets as a CRM. Right? So figure out what your copy should be. And the third is that spend significant amount of time researching the tools that you're going to use. I'm also going to name some of the tools that we use, and by no means am I saying that the tools that we use are the best tools in the market. You will be able to find better tools because it's super competitive space, and every tool is super innovative, and they're building something over their competitors as well. So I'll be naming some of the tools. One, we are not affiliated with any of those tools in any way, shape, or form, apart from Clientjoy, of course. But second is that whenever you find the tool, just spend some amount of time using it without actually implementing it for your business. Because one of the things that we painfully learned was that a lot of tools make promises that they cannot keep. And so do your research before you commit. Use it for a while. Ask other people as to how they are using it, and then commit to a particular tool, right? So that's three things before you start your cold email campaigns. So here are four aspects of cold emailing, and we'll be going through each of these aspects. So the first one is setting up for your cold email. Second is personas and building your databases. Third is copy, how to write the structure and A/B testing of your copy. And the fourth is measurements. What are the metrics that you measure, and what are industry standard metrics as well? And then, of course, resources and stuff like that is also something that I'll be sharing with you towards the end of this as well. Just Albert, just so that I know that I'm just not just rambling in space, since I cannot see anyone because I'm on the PPT screen. Is everything fine? Is everything okay? Are you able to see and listen to what I'm saying?
Yes, everything is fine. People are start commenting
Perfect.
and more people are coming down. So
Perfect.
okay,
Awesome.
you just continue. No, I can see your screen. I
Great.
can
Yeah.
see your share screen. If anything
Perfect.
wrong,
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah, just let me know. So firstly, we'll talk about setting up your cold email. So there are six aspects to setting up your cold email engine. This should have said cold email engine. So this is a 6-step process, fairly quick and simple. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to buy 3 domains that are lookalike of your existing domain, right? So with global TLDs, right? So as an example, clientjoy.io is our website, but whenever we do cold email campaigns, we do it from clientjoy.com, clientjoy.co, clientjoy.in, and so on and so forth, right? So three, don't please don't do your, if you're starting your cold email journey, please do not do cold email campaigns from your core domain. If you make a mistake, and if that mistake exaggerates over a period of time, your your domain authority, and how Google, Microsoft, and other mail engines that exist out there in the world, how they perceive your domain will be tarnished forever. Right? So get three domains that have global TLDs. Followed by that, get either G Suite or Office 365, whichever works for you. Right. So, and this is completely separate from your organization. Right. So wherever it is that, let's say if you're a 10 people agency using G Suite on abc.com or youragency.com, you get youragency.io, youragency.o, and youragency.in or something like that as a separate organization, and then add all of your domains to that workspace, right? The third thing, and this is super important, we'll talk about this a little more as well, is setting up your DKIM, SPF, and DMARC. So setting up DKIM, SPF records and adhering to DMARC policies. We'll talk about that a little bit. um, Add 3 users per domain, right? So you'll typically have about 9 odd people, 9 odd unique email addresses. So Dan at the rate youragency.com, Dan at the rate youragency.co, Natasha at the rate youragency.io, and so on and so forth. And now put all of these 9 email IDs for warm up, right? And we'll talk about email warm up in a bit as well, for 4 to 6 weeks, right? So we use Never Spam, but you can find any tool that exists out there in the market. And we'll talk about what email warm-up is in a bit as well. And then last step is building sequences. Building sequences is something that I'll talk a lot more around a little later during this session. But this is primarily like the 6-step process that you need to follow. Most of them can happen in about half a day. And then warming up can take a while, but that can happen in the background. And then we'll also talk about building sequences, right? So this is the setup that you have: buying 3 domains, getting a separate workspace for G Suite or Office 365, setting up your records, add 3 users per domain, start warming up your domain, and start building sequences. Right. So the first thing that we will dive a little deeper into is warming up your domain. Right. So we at Clientjoy use Never Spam by Allegro. But again, as I shared, you can find at least 10 different tools that exist out there in the market. All of them offer comparable email warm up services. If you don't know what email warming up is basically where the tool, whatever it is that you're using, automates organic sounding conversations from the 9 email IDs across 3 different TLDs that you have, so that Google, Microsoft, and other email servers in the world feel like a real person is actually and genuinely using these email IDs. Right? So it starts with let's say 1 email a day, and then goes to 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, 40, 50, and so on and so forth. Right? So it's important, and it helps in building reputation for your email address as well. So this is something that you should never skip. Just buy these domains and get them to warm up. This impacts your delivery rates, right? Now, the second thing is adding records to your domain, right? So you add SPF as well as you add DKIM. So SPF basically verifies that this is the particular person who's actually sending it. This is the process that is followed, right? So sender composes and sends out an email. The mail server inserts a DKIM signature, which shows that this is the mail server that is authorized to send emails from this particular domain. The recipient receives the email. The recipient mail server checks for reputation, black lists, authentication, so on and so forth. The recipient server now receives the email. It passes the DMARC policy, and then the SPF as well as DKIM are checked. And if the policy is applied, and if everything is good, it passes it, lands into inbox. Or if there's an issue, then it moves into either quarantine or block, or it sometimes bounces back as well, right? So add records once you purchase those 3 TLDs. Add records. You only need to add 1 SPF and 1 DKIM record one time, right? So it's a one-time activity for the life of that domain. For every time that you start using different mail servers, you don't need to add SPF and DKIM records. That process of verification can happen simply through a GUI. But for the first time that you do it, you'll be given these records that you should add to the DNS settings. And if you're not tech friendly, you can just ask the person who's setting up the domain in the website for you, and it's fairly quick and simple to do. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to set up, takes about 24 hours to propagate, but that's primarily what it is, right? And the third is building 3 sequences of 5 emails each, right? So email sequences, for people who might not know, is a sequence of emails that where the next email only goes if the previous email has not been responded, right? So you send email one. If you receive, and then you have email 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first email goes today. Email number two can go 2 days later. After email number two, if someone responds, they move out of the sequence, and so the email 3, 4, and 5 do not go for that particular person. But if this person B who does not respond until email number 3 and email number 4, then the 3 and 4 will continue to go after 2 days, 3 days, whatever it is that you set. And if they respond after the fourth email, then the fifth email won't go, and so on and so on. Right? So you want to build three different sequences of 5 emails each, and we'll be going a little deeper into what those different sequences should have. But this is primarily where you start to design your experiments, right? So you can design different positioning, you can set it for different lists, you can write quirky follow-ups, you can offer a different call to action in all of these sequences, you can share different resources, and so on and so forth. So firstly, what I ask you, or what I request you to do, is figure out what are all the different positionings that you could have, and then figure out how many different personas that you have, and then figure out how many different resources could you share, and what are the different call to actions that you could have, and then just kind of mix and match those under different personas and different sequences, right? So that's primarily a way to go about it. And I realize that it may get a little confusing at this point, and so towards the end I also have some examples of what we've been doing at Clientjoy. The reason why experimenting is important, though, is because it tells you what is working and what is not working, right? So as agency owners, we may feel that this is the service that I'm offering, and this is the price that I'm offering it at, and this is the customer that is going to purchase whatever it is that I'm offering. But a lot of times, the perception of what you're offering and who you're offering it to and why they are purchasing your services is very different than from you, as an agency owner, that might end up thinking about, right? And so that's why experimenting is super important. Now we move to the second aspect of cold emailing, and that is building personas and databases, and building the list of people that you'll be reaching out to. Right? So, as I shared with you, build three sequences of 5 emails each. You want to send those three sequences, three different sequences, three different personas, right? And we'll also try and define those personas as well. So, three different buyer personas or profiles that you will use cold emails to acquire. The second is building databases. So we use Phantom Buster for a lot of scraping and automation, and we use Apollo and Hunter for uh, for figuring out the email address of the person that you just scraped off of some of the other website or LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever the case may be. And again, feel free to use a different scraper. Feel free to use a different kind of a platform that gives you the email addresses or phone numbers. But keep your lists to the minimum, right? So you want those lists to have 3 to 5, 6 properties at max. You don't want a lot of data about them. You don't want to over segregate. You don't want to over experiment. So at any point of time, if you are experimenting, you don't want to have more than 1 or 2 variables at once, right? So typically the best ones are first name, last name, email, phone number, company name. I mean, that's good enough for you to start right off the bat when you're building a database, right? And the third, which is super important, is validating your list. So you need you can start with a list that is as small as 1,500 people, but then you need to make sure that all of those emails are valid emails, because when you start your campaigns, you don't want any hard bounces, or you want as little hard bounces or soft bounces for that matter as possible, right? And so we'll talk about how to do those as well. And so typically what we would do when we used to be a tech agency was we'd have three different personas for high value, medium value, and low value. So high value were the people who were looking to build a complete entire product from start to finish with us. Medium value were people who we thought were either looking at us as an ancillary service provider, so they already had a tech team in house and they were looking for 2 or 3 people from our team to assist in some way, shape, or form. And low value were the people who were looking for itemized services, so people who were looking for audits, people who were looking for things that we could just quickly kind of go in and fix in terms of optimizing their server and server usage and cloud usage and stuff like that, right? So 1,500 people you want 200 high value people, you want 400 medium value, and 800 low value, right? And offer different positioning, obviously, for different personas, and we'll again talk about how to do that. But you want to do it for three different personas who are looking for three different things out of your services, right? So as I shared with you, use something like Apollo or Hunter, and for figuring out email addresses, and Phantom Buster for automating your scroll or for automating your scraping. But you can put in your criteria just like you put in your LinkedIn search and get the email IDs at output. They also integrate with CRM of your choice. And so what you could do is you could use Phantom Buster, put it on automation. It brings in the links into Apollo, and then Apollo can figure out the email IDs and first names, last names, company name, and stuff like that. And then that could push it to the CRM, which you can then use to reach out to these people as well and create your sequences and stuff like that. And then the third is validate your database. So we use Pabbly Email Verifier, but again, there are a lot of email verification services that exist out there. We've heard that MailerLite has a great verification service. So figure out what email verification service works for you, but you want as little bounce rate as possible for all of your cold email campaigns, right? Now we move into the super important bit of cold emailing, the thing that is heart of cold emailing, and that is copy and A/B testing and measurement. Right? And so, what to write for different personas, what should be the basic structure of your email, and what are the things that you should measure. Right. So the first thing is for different personas for high value, you want your emails to be super personalized, right? So you want to figure out, so what we would do is we would visit their social media, we would go to their personal websites, we would go and figure out what are the updates about these people, and then actually use that as a merge field in our cold email campaigns, and then send those emails out, right? So when I actually mention in my email to 200 people at scale something to the fact that, hey Albert, just saw your post on moonlighting, and this is something that I totally agree with, even though it is not related with what we're offering, it still makes a great impression, right? It means that it makes the other person feel that I have been following them, I have been looking at their content, and I have some sort of a relationship with them already, even though it is happening at scale to 200 people. For medium value, what you want to do is you want to write a simple structure and then put it in an AI generator. We use copy.ai, but again, I think you will see that there are threads around Go Charlie as well, which is something that you may consider using. But for medium value, you can just put in some amount of copy over there and then figure out like run different iterations of that and figure out what's the best blurb about the problem, and the solution that you're offering. And then for low value, you want it to be super basic, right? You just want it to be simple. You use only the company name and the first name and stuff like that as your merge fields, because that's going to be sent out to 800 people, and the ROI is also not going to be as big as the high value um, clients as well. Now here's a little bit around basic principles and structures, right? So we start with the four basic principles. No images. Do not use any images. Don't put any image in the signature or in your email, or add it as an attachment or anything like that. Just stay away from images. The point of writing and cold email sequences is for the other person to think that you've actually genuinely written an email, and people don't put in images in their email unless they're super customized, right? When they are sending it out. Second is limited to 75 words, probably 100 words, but the first email should be 75 words or less. Don't take up a lot of their time. Be as crisp and clear as possible. The third is only one CTA, right? So don't add three or four different CTAs. I see a lot of emails where people would say, if you want to see our presentation, click here. If you want to see our video, click over here. If you want to book a call with us, click over here. If you and stuff like that, right? So don't do all of that. Don't confuse. Just one CTA per email. And the last one is simple, like no jargons, just like you talk to your parents, right? So people like to understand simple things and just keep things as simple as possible, reduce the amount of cognitive load that they have to take on. And so here's a simple structure, right? So first name, Patrick, intro. Love your thoughts around SEO. Problem: agency owners don't have. So this is primarily what I'm talking about. Agency owners don't have visibility. Agitating on the problems, building a little more on the problem it leads to poor cash flow management. Solution: Clientjoy helps you gain visibility. CTA: is this worth a chat? Right. So obviously this is not the copy, but this is a good structure to go behind. And here are some other examples of the same. Right. So copy one. this is, we are reaching out to the same person, we're writing the same subject line, but we're talking about three different problems and we are having three different pitches, right? So here the problem is agency owners don't get paid on time, and it leads to financial stress. And Clientjoy helps you automate your follow-ups and invoices and helps you build subscriptions and stuff like that. Is this worth a chat? Here, the problem is agency owners find CRMs complicated, leading to low adoption internally. Clientjoy is simple and effective. Is this worth a chat? And here, the problem is again very different. Here, we talk about agency owners use five different tools, leading to poor client experience because the client experience happens over email and WhatsApp and Slack and some project management system like Asana and Trello and whatever. And so it leads to a poor client experience. Clientjoy helps unify everything in one place. Is this worth a chat? Right? And so these are some examples of copy that you're writing the same person with the same subject line, but the different problem, different positioning, different agitation, different solution, and the same CTA, right? And then this is how you run your experiments, right? Now, when you send out when you send out 100 such emails or 500 such emails using the cold email engine that you have, then you know. So I essentially have four different versions, right? So the first version is this, which is where I'm talking about agency owners don't have visibility. And then I have four other versions, which is where I'm talking about agency owners don't get paid on time, find CRMs complicated, own or use five different tools. And then I'll know which ones are resonating with my target audience as well, right? And so here are some examples of follow-ups for when you're building your sequence. So sequence should have five emails. The first one is where you're trying different positioning out, but then in the second, third, fourth, fifth, you can try different types of follow-ups. So here's one type of follow-up, which is a quick resource for you. So reached out to you a couple of days ago. Did you get a chance to go through it? Here's a quick 2-minute video to give you a complete overview. Right? Here's a copy too, which talks about another pain point. So as an agency owner, I know that things can get really busy, and you might not have had the time to check out my last message. So wanted to bring this to your attention. This will earn you more time for yourself, right? So I'm looping in the problem that I said with the solution that I'm looking to offer. And copy three of follow-up is proof. Previously, we've helped 13,000 users from 90 plus countries reduce their turnaround times for prospects and get paid on time from clients. Would you be interested in exploring how we can do the same for you? Followed by a call to action, right? So you can basically, this is what I was talking about earlier on, when I said that what you could do is you could figure out different positionings and different ways to follow ups and different links that you could have, different resources that you have, and then kind of mix and match those for different personas, right? And this is an exercise typically takes a day or two for you to do because you know your agency super well already. So it takes a day or two for you to do. But then once you've done that, then it's just organizing them and creating a sequence in a Word document, right? It's as simple as that. Here are some industry standard rates that we've come across, and these rates are not just from our cold email campaign. So we used to do cold email campaigns for our agency. We even now do it for Clientjoy. But these are data that we have received from the email sequences that are being launched from Clientjoy by our users as well, right? So typically the email sequences that perform the best are here are the different types of emails. So personalized is basically what you send it to high value prospects that you've gathered, right? And so you want to have 62. So all of them, by the way, should have 98% deliverability. This will only and only come if your records are properly added, if your domains and email IDs are warmed up, and if your email lists have been properly validated by a service, right? So once you've done those 2-3 things that I mentioned previously, that's when you'll get deliverability of 98% or higher. And then once you have that, this is non-negotiable. This is something that you should have absolutely. When you're sending it to personalized, then you typically have 60 to 80% open rates, 10 to 15% response rates, and about 3% people end up booking a call with you if you have that as a CTA. Semi-personalized is what we send out with the AI sort of a copy generator, and so that's about 50 to 70% on open rates, 5 to 10 reply rates, and 1.5 odd percentage of bookings. And templated, the ones that we send out to the set of people who are looking for low ticket sort of engagement with you, you typically have 40 to 60% open rates, 2.5 to 5% reply rates, and 0.5 percentage in bookings, right? And so once you start, and so these are the goals that you should aim for. As long as you are not achieving these numbers, you want to continue iterating on ICP and copy, right? So again, just to reiterate, up until the time you get your deliverability to be 98%, you want to warm your email IDs and domains up, and you want to add the records, which is a one-time activity, and you want to validate the email databases that you're building. So that's one. So that's tied to this particular measurement. For this table and for these different types, if you're not achieving these numbers, then you want to iterate on the ICP, the positioning, the copy that you're writing, and the follow-ups that you're doing. Right? And so you just want to kind of keep on experimenting on that until you hit this. Once you hit this, then you know that these are good numbers or industry standard numbers, and so there's no point in optimizing your ICP or copy further. You just want to widen the top of the funnel, the place from where you build your database. If you're bringing in 1,000 people every week, you want to bring in 5,000 people and then 10,000 people at some point, and so on, right? So I hope that offers you some amount of clarity. You typically want to use a CRM for email sequencing. So once you've done all of those steps, choose a robust platform that helps you in not just sending emails but also do other things. Right. This is where also ClientJoy.
We can't hear you. Yes? We lost your voice.
Is it okay? Is it better now?
Yeah, now it's better. We lost your
Okay,
voice for a few
okay.
seconds.
I think some issue with the mic here, but I hope it works now, right? So I just go full screen again. Yeah. So you want to use a CRM for email sequencing, right? So something that is super robust that helps you in not just sending emails but also doing other things. So sending emails, as I shared with you, is just the beginning. You need processes across your agency from the time that they become a prospect to the time that they receive a proposal, quote, estimate, or a contract to sign, to the time that they give you the project, to the time that they become your client and you want to give them consistent updates, to the time that they receive an invoice from you, and to the time that they make a payment to you and then kind of go back in the loop and give you more business in the future, right? So you want to use a CRM that is robust and helps you across all of them. Of course, ClientJoy can help you do those as well. So I hope you can check it out. I promised some amount of free resources at the beginning of this session, and this is where you can find them. So you can just head over to clientjoy.io/universe, and these are centralized, curated, and completely free resources for your agency or freelancing practice, so you can grow, fulfill, and earn. So some of the resources are 150 plus cold email templates, 300 plus Excel sheet templates, 700 plus PPT templates, 420 plus social media post ideas, 100 plus invoice templates, and so much more. We've got 15, 16 such resources. You can use 150 plus cold email templates if you're thinking about starting this for yourself as well. And before we end this conversation, I just very quickly take about a couple of minutes to talk about how ClientJoy can help you reduce your turnaround times by 18% and improve your conversion rates by 10% or more, right? So turnaround times are, by the way, the time that it takes for a prospect to move from the time that it became a prospect to the time that it becomes your customer, right? And so we have proven reduced turnaround times by 18%, right? So Clientjoy helps you manage your sales pipeline. It makes sure that you're able to track all of your opportunities across different stages. It does not fall through the cracks. It helps you create and send email sequences as well. So once you've used all of those different tools to validate your email lists and automate collection of those emails and all of those things, you can come to Clientjoy, create your sequences, enroll all of these people into those sequences and start reaching out to them and start getting meeting bookings and start getting replies and responses from them as well. You can get your quotes and proposals e-signed on ClientJoy as well. So you can also do that for contracts. You can track them and so on and so forth. You can build a completely customized client portal to work with your clients, and it integrates with about 1,000 plus applications. You can embed all of them. So you don't need to write emails to show progress. It works on your domain. It carries your logo. It can have your custom CSS and JavaScript. There's no way for your client to know that you're using ClientJoy for the client portal as well. You can manage clients and their activities as well. You can see which emails are open, which files have been shared, and you can receive files from them as well. You always get paid on time. You can raise one-time split or recurring invoices along with subscriptions with payment links. We integrate with Stripe, PayPal, and Payoneer. We're actually preferred partners of Stripe, PayPal, and Payoneer. And then we have to check out GoCardless and TransferWise that we are starting to work with as well. You can schedule automated reminders, so you don't have to manually follow up for payments as well. And the whole point is that sum of parts is greater than parts of the sum, right? Instead of using 4, 5, 7 different softwares, you come to Clientjoy, and that's primarily it, right? You can use code download silo to get 15% off. It applies on all the plans and for all future purchases as well. And I think that's pretty much it. So would love to take up some questions. We run a community of 1500 plus agency owners that you can join on facebook.com/groups/clientjoy, and you can check out the Agency Show podcast on anchor.fm/clientjoy the agency show. That's it from my side. I hope this was helpful. um, what did you think, Albert?
Yeah, I was paying attention to catch your fast moving words, So I know you try to cover a lot of
Okay.
things. Okay. Yes. Take a break, half a minute to 1 minute. I need to go for a toilet break. Then we come back for the
Sure,
feedback.
sure, absolutely. So I'll be here, and I just, what can I do? I'll I'll just see. Okay, let me read some of the comments. I think Jaideep says hello. Um, Daniel says can't seem to see the Facebook live. I hope it was working for you. Oh, these are at the start of the live. Oh, okay, okay, got it, got it. That's okay. Really helpful. Thank you, Facebook user, for finding this really helpful. Daniel Croft says, really informative. Thank you, Daniel. Try to be as informative as possible. The collection on client.io/universe is amazing. I used them a few months back. Thanks, Pravash, for saying that. We try to be as useful and relevant as possible. You know what? One of the reasons why we are able to, I think we're able to build relevant resources is primarily because of the fact that we've been an agency for half a decade, right? So we've done that business. We realize the challenges that come with running the agency business, and that's primarily one of the reasons why. Thank you, Albert, for coming back. Over to you. I was just trying to kind of read some comments and see what's happening.
Okay, I will try to what they call project the question up. Okay, this
Yeah.
is I do not yeah, Jack just said what upsell are there in the
Okay. Oh, great question. The only upsell as of now is the branding plus, but there will be some amount of future upsells, and I'll give you an example of that. So there are category of features that we'll build. So the first one is going to be the ability for you to call, so cold calling, and sending SMSs and integrating your WhatsApp. To be clear, we will be offering you credits at cost. We'll be integrating with Video, and we'll be offering those credits at cost. And so those are some of the things that you'll have to purchase, but not in terms of features, right? Those will be credits for you to be able to use them. um, Another set of upsells are going to be, or there are going to be some benefits as well. So as you might have seen on the Clientjoy website, Clientjoy processes more than $25 million in payments every month for all of its users, and it is used to manage 76,000 clients. It is used to manage 1.8 million leads or deals each month. And so given that, we are trying to negotiate with Payoneer and PayPal, and in future with to checkout, um, as well as Go Cardless, that they offer some beneficial, payment rate to the users of Clientjoy. So that's going to be a smaller benefit, but that happens at scale as well. Another upsell that will come a little in the future are basically things that you typically have to buy credits for, right? It's not a feature, but the minutes and the SMSs and the WhatsApp messages and stuff like that, which is what costs us and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I mean the upsells are optional, So basically, the base product is always working, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, Nilayan is asking, okay, your competitor, So can it replace instantly for those who miss it? I haven't used
Okay.
it instantly, so I do not know.
Same here, yeah. I have not used Instantly. I think they're talking about instantly.ai, right? And so, I'll tell you what, Nilayan, right? So I'll not claim that ClientJoy can replace Instantly, because Instantly has been built very specifically for a particular use case. However, at ClientJoy, what we are trying to do is we're trying to help you across the complete funnel, right? So starting from your prospects to sending documents and getting those signed, and to giving them a portal, and then to getting invoices and getting paid and sharing files, and then meeting booking and scheduling and so on and so forth. So if you are going to heavily do cold email marketing, as of now, I'd recommend doing instantly.ai as well. If you just need cold email marketing, and if your other requirements are sorted. If you're a light cold email marketer, I'd say ClientJoy could replace. But then it really depends on the kind of features that you're looking for and the kind of ultimate goal that you have. I'd be happy to do a quick demo with you, understand your requirements, and then figure this out.
Yeah, I mean the difference is very obvious. Instantly is only for cold emailing, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
mean ClientJoy is a full CRM, you know.
yeah.
Okay, let's move to the next question. Oh, additional member, how much do it cost?
If you buy a lifetime deal of 129, which is running on your website, which includes only one member, if I want to add more members, how much will it charge? So with each member, we have a discount. So let's say if you buy one member, it's 129, and then just give me 1 second. I'll just check out the pricing, and I give that to you as well. So if you go to the Black Friday page that we have, that we've linked in the top header. So for the first one member, it's 129, but for three users, you get 15% off. And so that's 379. And then for five users, it's 20% off. And so that's 589, and so on and so forth. Right. And it's
Yes, can you
also
share the
important
screen?
to remember.
Can you share the
Oh yeah,
screen
I can share. Yeah,
so
just
that
one
they can
second.
see?
Yeah. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, now we can see.
Awesome. Perfect. So just come to the ClientJoy website. You will see the banner over here. Just click on the banner, check it out now, and you'll be able to see the Black Friday early bird deal that we have. And so it's one user is about 129. Let's say if you want five users, that's 20% off. So that's 589, and so on and so forth. And so if you go for 20 users, that's 50% off. However, it's also important to remember that the discount code, which is download silo, that I mentioned earlier in this conversation, applies on top of this, right? So that's not included. So if you go for, as an example, 379 plan for three users, which is already 15% off, download silo will give you an additional 15% off on this 379 price point, right? So just wanted to kind of clarify that.
Okay. So let's move to the next question. Okay, this kind of an unclear question. So can you read that
Okay.
in the chat so that easier?
Sure, sure. But if I recall from an earlier QA, so this is kind of an unclear question. No worries, we'll try to clarify that as much as possible. If I recall from an earlier QA session, a client has to be fully onboarded to be able to do things like send invoices. That is, you can't just create an ad hoc invoice from a single client without fully onboarding them. So it depends on how do you define onboarding. So onboarding is just creating a client. So that client does not need to be using the client portal or need to be given a user ID and password for them to log in or anything like that, right? So I can create my client who's not who does not know about ClientJoy, who's not yet signed up to ClientJoy or anything like that, and still I can send across invoices to them. I can send across proposals, quotes, estimates, contracts, everything to them. So if you mean by onboarding, if when you say onboarding, if you mean that they need to be a ClientJoy user, they don't need to be a ClientJoy user for you to be able to send anything to them, right? So just want to kind of clarify that.
Okay, the next question is can we
Can
use
we
the
use
presentation
presentation
template?
templates provided by resources section of ClientJoy without any worries on professional projects? So there are no worries of professional projects. So yeah, you can. Why not? You can use it for any project. Why just professional project? So what sort? If you can expand on the worry that you have, I'd be Like, is that a design concern? Is it a versioning concern? Is that a copyright concern? Like, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer that a little more clearly. But actually, there are no concerns across all three of them, so you can go ahead and use it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I have to jump, because some question are not relevant.
Sure. Does using images and GIF in cold email affect deliverability and open rates? There are many tools in the market like NextWeave, Hippo, ReachOut, etc., that embed a personal image and links to a demo video. So here's what I would say, right? So anecdotally, in my very limited experience, and anecdotally, I've seen that the emails have not landed in inbox, in primary inbox. They typically go in promotions if they contain images and if they contain videos, right? However, you can add as many links as you want, right? So linking, I would recommend only one link, but you can add links as you want, right? So you can put in the video as a link, just say something to the effect of "click here to know more" or something like that, and that should be okay. But yeah, but that I've not found a single article that says that the deliverability or the open rates are impacted by adding GIFs and images. But I have personally seen a huge dip for the time when we have images and GIF in emails. And so we've created a rule internally that we should not have any images in the email, and I recommend you should do that as well.
Okay. Next
How do
question.
I avoid getting blocked by email marketing tools for using purchase databases? You cannot, and you should not. So here's what I would say. So this relates to a lot more to the fact of using Mailchimp and MailerLite and stuff like that, where you're doing a mass email like a marketing email. This is not specific to cold emails, but what I'd say is that, I mean, one is you should not purchase databases. They are typically not accurate, more often than not. If you're able to find accurate databases, then what you may want to do is you may want to start sending out emails to smaller percentage of people first, and then see what percentage of spam complaints do you get, what percentage of hard bounces and soft bounces do you get, and then kind of slowly and gradually build your reputation to send it out. But overall, I would say that all of this is a gimmick. If you are banned by let's say someone like MailerLite or Mailchimp or Sendinblue or something like that, you've done something wrong. You should not do that. You should not do that again. I would strongly recommend that you build your cold email databases yourself, by scraping and and essentially by validating and discovering through Apollo or Hunter or something like that. What is the difference between Mailchimp and Clientjoy email marketing tools? There's a huge difference, right? So one is, so firstly, allow me 5 seconds to feel super happy that you are using Mailchimp and Clientjoy in the same sentence. And so thank you for doing that. But but there's a huge difference between Mailchimp and Clientjoy. So one, Mailchimp is billions of dollars, much more users, much more robust system, of course. However, Mailchimp is used for marketing emails, right? So things like newsletters, for when you want to reach out to 500 people, 1,000 people, 50,000 people, 100,000 people at once, right? Making announcements and stuff like that. Client-side email marketing is not actually email marketing. It is cold email sequences that we have, which essentially sends out emails from your own email addresses, and it basically shows to the email servers that you, Facebook user, I cannot see your name unfortunately over here, but you as Facebook user are actually writing this email and then sending it out to them. And so typically those are limited to 500 emails a day, to up to 1,500 emails per day, maximum. I don't recommend you do that, but that's the maximum that you could do. So there's a difference between cold email and marketing emails, and there's a lot more that you can learn about that, but that's the primary difference. But again, super glad that you use Mailchimp and Clientjoy in the same sentence here. Thanks, Facebook user.
Okay, this is a very relevant question to your server.
How do you prevent abuse of your system for cold email? So here's what, right? So we don't prevent abuse of our servers because our servers are not being used. Cold emails, and that's why. So we invest significantly in educating all the people who are using Clientjoy or any other tool for that matter for cold emails. It's important for you to realize that whenever you're doing cold email sequences, it is not their server that is being used and their reputation at stake, or Clientjoy's reputation at stake, or HubSpot's reputation at stake. It is your domain's reputation at stake, right? And your server's your workspace or email server's reputation at stake, right? So more often than not, you will see that platforms like Clientjoy or HubSpot or Pipedrive, whoever allow cold email sequences, don't necessarily have to work on any precautionary measure because it's not their loss. And so we invest significantly in helping people understand the difference between email marketing and cold email funnel building and sales. That's primarily how we try to do that. We will always fall short, but we'll put in product tool tips and stuff like that. HM Shuja asks, what should be the sending limit per sending email ID with which minimum internal? So I didn't understand with which minimum internal, but so what should be the sending limit per sending email ID? So if you start today, you send out 5 cold emails per day, and then gradually over the period of next 90 days, you warm it up to sending, let's say, 200, and then gradually for the next 90 days, you take it from 200 to 500, and so over a period of 6 months, you go from 5 to 200 in 3 months, and then to 500 in another 3 months, and then you can stay around 500. To be clear, that 500 does not just include 500 new emails, it also includes 500 emails that are being sent out for previous sequences. So as an example, if you created sequence 1 and enrolled 200 people on Monday, and then the email 2 of sequence 1 is going to go on Wednesday, and then if you come on Wednesday and then enroll another 200 people, that's a total of 400 people, right? So 200 people from sequence 1 and 200 people from sequence 2. So sorry, 200 people for email number 2 of sequence number 1, and 200 people for email number 1 for sequence number 2, right? So that's how you limit your accounts. I know this must have been a little confusing, so if you can bring up the comment again, I'll find that comment and then I'll respond to that comment over there as well, and I'll do some illustration so it becomes a little clearer for all the people, or I'll just look for it in the Facebook group. Yeah, I just, how many email account can we link to CJ per member for sending email? So one. So it's one account per member. So you link one account for each and every user. If you have 10 email accounts, you can have 10 users, and you can link one per account.
Okay, this is a competitor, no?
Yeah. So can Clientjoy help me replace firstsales.io? So hey Pravash, thanks for the question. Udit actually is a very good friend, and so I will refrain from answering this question because like he's a very good friend. Secondly, Clientjoy, when it used to be Griddle, we launched, like the first launch was on PitchGround. So the first dollar we made was on PitchGround. And so I hold that organization as well as Udit in very high regards. And I'll not look at them as competitors. I'd say you should buy both First Sales as well as Clientjoy.
Okay, let's show me this next question.
If few emails from another Clientjoy account gets a hard bounce and same emails are in my list, can you warn before sending them? So Anuj, great question. As of now, so this sounds very simple, but this requires stringent amount of data sharing policies in place, which we as of now do not have the scale of yet, which most cold emailing services as of now, apart from HubSpot, or a couple of other platforms, have the scale of to do, right? And so we don't have those data sharing policies in place, and so all the data that is generated on Clientjoy is encrypted, and since it is encrypted, we also cannot read it, and so it's as of now it's not possible, but we will be bringing this feature in the future, where we just mark those leads with those email IDs as blacklisted, given that someone else tried to send it out and it hard bounced previously. But we don't have the data sharing agreement in place as of now, even though it is within Clientjoy, but it is between two users of Clientjoy, right? Pravash Chandra says, can we update the email ID as per the need, or is it bound during the setup? You can update your email ID, right? So you cannot change the email ID, the one with which you signed up for, but that's okay. That is different from the email ID that you connect with Clientjoy to send out your cold email campaigns. And so you can change that email ID as and when you want, at any time, at any point of time. Yeah, so that's okay.
Okay.
Inderpreet
Dinosaur.
Singh says comparison with Dynocent and CJ. Dynocent is something that I'm hearing about for the first time. So I don't have that ready, but I will send. I do the comparison. I'll share that with you. But I think from the quickest look that I've had on the website, it seems like it is more towards the line of outplay, which helps you reach out, acquire, and then engage with your customers. You see, Clientjoy is not just that, right? So Clientjoy primarily helps you build the whole relationship after they are converted as well. Right? So client portal, invoicing, payments, all of those things. Can we track if 3 links added to email and segment the audience? Okay, so no, you cannot, not as of now, but that is something that's coming soon with automations. You will be able to track which person clicked which links, and then so currently we are tracking link clicks and we are tracking opens, and obviously we are tracking replies, but we're not tracking which link was clicked. And so segmentation or list building basis, that is something that will come in with the automation. Can you share a bit about your upcoming features in this quarter on the roadmap plan? Yeah, Pravash. 3 things that we are going to build in. So the first one is multiple sales pipeline. So currently you can create one sales pipeline. You can customize it the way you want, but you can have only one sales pipeline. We want to have multiple sales pipelines. So if you are selling 2 different things for which your prospects and leads have completely different buyer journeys, you'll be able to do that. So that's number one. The second thing that we're building are lead forms. So ability for you to create forms within Clientjoy and then embed it on your website, so that when people fill it out, those people are directly created as leads within Clientjoy. So that's the second biggest feature that is going to come out in this quarter. And the third thing that we're working on is working with GoCardless and working with Wise. Working with Wise and Square. Wise is something that will take us more than 3 months, because that includes us incorporating a separate organization in Canada or US and stuff like that. But Square and GoCardless you can expect in the next 3 months, this coming quarter. So these 3 key things. Inderpreet Singh says, does it have webhooks? Yes, it does have webhooks. It has APIs. It works with Zapier, Pabbly, Integromat, Integrately, and SyncSpider. So essentially anything and everything under the sky. If you're using, you'll be able to integrate Clientjoy with everything.
Okay, guys, I think we have actually answered most of the question. Before we end, we should actually go into the what they call giveaway. We have one prize to be won. That is one LTD
Yeah,
code, and we allow another question or two before we actually decide on the LTD giveaway.
sure.
Okay, there are a few more questions.
How about reporting? Do I get complete email status reports? Yes, you get to know whether your email was delivered or not, whether it was opened or not, whether it was clicked or not, and of course, whether it was responded to or not. If it was responded to, it will thread that conversation and you get a notification, of course, in your email client, which could be Outlook, Gmail, and in Clientjoy as well. Facebook user says, one cold email and one regular email sync per account possible. No, so for that you'll need 2 accounts, right? So you can have because there's no way for Clientjoy to know that which email are you going to use for cold and which one are you using for regular, right? So whatever we build has to be used by 13,000 people. But if you think about it, if you go for 3 users, we are already offering um, I think 20% off, and then you can use download sign-ups. That's another 15% off. So you get 35% off right there and then. So that's not far off from what you
No, we're
really
trying
want.
to trap you. Form builder, no? Do you have form builder?
Yeah, Form Builder. Thanks, Latif. Yes, we will be bringing in Form Builder to Clientjoy as well fairly soon.
Okay, this is a compliment. I don't know who's this guy. Oh, that is
Okay,
Luke
I'm already a
Common.
client. Okay. I'm already a client, haven't used it much, but your customer service rep was. Thank you. That's so we look at the product as a whole experience. So it's not just the features and the benefits, but it is also the people who help you set it up And we're just fortunate to have a great team who's helping us take the mission and vision forward. But thank you for the compliment. I'll definitely pass it on to Tanmay. Tanmay and Jai are the people who handle our customer success, and they'd be glad to know that. Ralph David Kim Loino says, not sure if my question was got already answered. Will this integrate with my Linkjoy account so that when I run an email campaign, it will automatically shorten the link if ever I include one in my email sequence? Oh, so great question. So there are it's a yes and no. So yes, this will integrate with your Linkjoy account. With Clientjoy, we had APIs, webhooks, integrations, everything for a while now. Linkjoy, we just built it and we'll be launching it. So we've already launched it. We've not yet announced. We'll be announcing it in a day or two. I was preparing the presentation for today, and that's why we were not able to edit the video with which we were going to launch the Linkjoy API integration for Pabbly's API and so on and so forth. So first part is yes, it will integrate with your Linkjoy account. Second part is that the kind of automation that you want is not possible as of now, right? So for you to create a shortened link in Linkjoy when an email sequence is created in Clientjoy and then dynamically insert that in the email and then send it out to the person, that's a little difficult to accomplish. But the simpler integrations are possible. So as an example, when a new client is added in Clientjoy, you can create a custom, you can create the same client in your Linkjoy account as well, or you can add a custom domain, or you can create a short URL or stuff like that. And similarly, Linkjoy will also push information to other tools. How long will the lifetime deal be available, Vijay? Vijay, thank you for that question. So here's the calculation that we're doing, right? So Clientjoy primarily, if you were to price it out there in the market, it's essentially somewhere close to about $14-15 per user per month. And so as of now, Clientjoy LTD, once the Black Friday, Cyber Monday is over, Clientjoy will be priced at $149, right, per user account. So as of now, we are offering some discounts, but let's assume 149 to be the price point, right? So it's $15 per user per month. But we are selling it for $150 per user for life, and so that's 10 months of essentially the dollar amount that we are able to capture because we are offering it as a lifetime deal. And so the thought process is that, and this amount will continue to grow until people stop paying, right? So this amount will continue to grow. It'll go to 159, 179, 229, 249, and so on and so forth until it is $15 into 36 months, and that's the amount. So once that happens is when we'll move to the MRR. If you just look at the history, in August, Clientjoy was available at 99. In September, we made it 129. October, it was 149. November, we have Black Friday, and so we have some discounts. But then December, again, we'll be back to 149. And then we'll see what kind of trends are we seeing. But that's the thought process of calculation. So instead of giving you a timeline, I'm essentially telling you the thought process that we will abide by. I hope that clarifies things.
Okay, so I think we have answered most of the question, if I'm not wrong. So let's move to the giveaway. And actually, the audience asked a lot of questions, so it's time for Yas to ask the giveaway question. So, okay, guys, please listen carefully, and Yas will ask you this question. Whoever can answer it in the most complete way, the best answer to it, will get the giveaway.
Yeah, no. I'll ask the same question I asked the last time, Albert. I think that was super helpful. So there are three topics that we could talk about. So this is a series that Download Silo and Clientjoy, Albert and Yash are doing together, which is basically where we are sharing some of the things that we've learned with the community, right? And so we have 5 sessions which will happen on first Monday of every or second Monday of every month, I think, right? So we have 3 more Mondays for the next 3 more months left, and there are 3 topics that we have. Just let us know which one do you think we should do, and if you can also add the option to with a topic of your own, right? So the first topic, it could be how to send proposals that close deals, right? The second topic could be how to make sure that you get paid on time. The third could be how to do client management and client management 101. So we could do either of these 3 topics. So your answer should be 1, 2, or 3. Writing proposals that close deals, getting paid on time, or client management 101. And then along with that, so 1, 2, or 3, along with that, also add another topic, another another pain point, another thing that you believe we should talk about from an agency and a freelancing standpoint. And the best topic that you offer, I'd choose that as the for the giveaway.
I'm not sure whether they understand your question.
Sure. So in that case, I just shorten it out. Just let me know in the comments what's the next topic that we should talk about. What are some of your biggest questions? What are some of your biggest concerns that you have? And just let us know in the comments, and then we'll do a session for that.
Yeah. Yas will choose what they call the best topic for the next
Yeah.
masterclass. Guys,
Yeah.
okay. There is some answer. Can you scroll yourself, Yas?
Yes, I can. So it says, one of them is best way to create. Oh, sorry, client management 101 would be great. How to get your perfect client. Thank you, Daniel, for the suggestion. Mohan says best way to create contracts without any loopholes. So Mohan, this could be a very so thank you for the suggestion, but this would be a very geography specific thing. So the laws in India, in the US, and the and let's say the Philippines and Indonesia and Singapore and Canada are very different. So there's no way that we'll be able to ever create contract without loopholes that applies to everyone. And so that's a little difficult to do. HM Shuja says client management. Facebook user says client management 101 plus how to manage multiple clients in different time zones. That's nice. That's interesting. Facebook user says how to get good client email open rates. Oh, okay. If your client email open rates are not okay, if you mean that you're sending emails to your clients and they are not opening the emails, then that's a cause for concern. But if you mean that when you are doing campaigns on behalf of your clients and then those campaigns are not getting open rates, then it's a longer conversation to have. So do clarify if you can. Pravash says, my topic for next masterclass, how to get paid on time. Wouldn't we all like to get paid on time? Vijay says, cash flow is king. Lead generation would be great. To add lead generation is something that we already did about a month ago. And so I encourage you to check it out. And that should be helpful as well. Facebook user says how to upsell and cross sell like a pro. Wow, that's a great session as well. Jaideep says client management and one-on-one topic suggestions, finding right email ID and sequence for niches. Jaideep, there are so many different niches and it's just difficult to cover all of the niche. But Jaideep, I'd be happy to get on a call with you and very specifically answer some of the questions that you have with my limited experience. Right? That might be a little more practical than me like researching all the niches and then and then kind of doing it across. I'd love to see client management, but more in the use case of how the flows and how the workflows can happen, how to optimize client management flow. Great one, right? So, sure. Client management 101, client personas, profiling, research tools, factors, great. How to run campaigns, client. I think we have a winner, right? Client management in 101 is one of the things that most people are looking for. But then we have some other suggestions as well. How to close more deals? How can we achieve more sales? Best security, privacy, encryption practices in client management. So thank you for that recommendation. But I am a non-tech guy, and so I'm not the right person to do that. But I will get someone from my from our team. My co-founder is also the chief technology officer at Clientjoy. She'll be the right person to talk about this. I can talk about privacy, but not for security and encryption practices. How can Clientjoy work with other tools using integrations? Use cases would be that's a demo of Clientjoy, right? So that's a sales sort of a thing, Pravash. I'm not looking to sell Clientjoy, while obviously I'm looking to sell Clientjoy, but that's not the goal of these sessions, right? So 85% of these sessions have to be knowledge sessions where there's some amount of value that is being created. Pravash, if you want a demo, we do a personalized demo. So just head over to clientjoy.io/schedule-demo or just find it in the header and then click that. And we'll do a personalized demo for you where we'll answer all of your questions and help you figure out whether Clientjoy is right for you. How best to collect cold email, Latif Mia? We could actually do a separate sort of a session after this series is over, Albert, on like taking everyone through those tools and actually doing collecting those emails and setting up the scraper and stuff like that as well. That's something that we could do.
Um, as well, how to decide which is the best pricing model for your offered services, doing competitor analysis. Wow, this is some brilliant thing, right? So how can agencies master platforms like Upwork for international projects? So wow, this is super good, demonstrating some actual success stories and use cases. This is a gold mine for me to this is ideas for me to like create content on for Clientjoy, right? Ideal use cases for where you are right now, where makes Clientjoy best when it comes to CRM, full customer journey from. Oh, this is not a suggestion. I think this is just a compliment. What makes Clientjoy the best is when it comes to CRM, full customer journey from zero to success. Finding exact customer persona. I think we have a winner, Albert. If we've got a lot of comments, a lot of recommendations, and I'm going to share this with our content team as well. They say that they are always struggling with topics to talk about and topics to write blogs on and create videos on. I just share this thread with them. This is like 3 months worth of content for client journey.
So you have to choose one topic and one
Yes.
winner.
So the topic that I would choose is how can agencies master platforms like Upwork for international projects. I'd love to. I mean, we could do it. We could schedule it depending on your convenience, but that's the winner for me.
Let me scroll up. Okay, this is the.
So yes, this is the one, but we don't know the name of the person.
Okay, let me check the Facebook chat. I don't know who is the guy. Can you please? Oh, Sibu Sahu. Sibu Sahu. Sibu Sahu. Sorry.
Sure.
So the member who actually posed this question is Sibu Sabu,
Oh, okay.
right?
Hey, we'll have to change that. I'm so sorry. Uh Cebu will have to change, and here's why. Because Cebu is actually affiliated with us, and so that question I don't think it counts because that's just me giving. Cebu would have also mentioned that in the comment, right? Because that he's working, he's affiliated with us in a very small capacity, but he is. And so let me choose the second one because that would me just giving out an award but actually not giving out the award. He already has access to unlimited client share, given that
Okay.
he's affiliated with us. So then I'd love to offer it to Vijay Anand. I see his name over here for finding ICP, finding the exact persona for your business.
So this is the one.
Yes, finding the exact. So there are two comments by Vijay, but yeah, finding the exact customer persona, Vijay Anand Krishnan Vasudevan. That's the correct person.
Okay. So congratulations, Vijay. We lost your voice again. Yes, we lost your voice again.
Oh, you lost my voice. So just
Okay,
okay.
now we hear your
Oh,
voice.
okay, awesome.
Okay, guys, I think we have talked a lot. More than half an hour above the. I mean, over the scheduled time, and I
Yeah,
think Yas get very excited every time he come on board.
yeah, yeah. I love sharing.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I like your session actually. Every time there is something for me to learn, from your presentation, from your answers, that kind of thing. So guys, thank you for your attendance in today's session, and I'd like to thank Yas for his time and also for his giveaway.
Sure.
And Yas, do you have any question before we end?
No, I think this was a brilliant session. I hope everyone got some amount of value. If this has just helps you get some additional open rates, some additional response rates, some additional meeting bookings, I'd consider that my purpose has been served. And so, thank you, Albert, for organizing this. This is lovely. I love engaging with the community, answering their questions in any way, shape, or form in my limited capacity. And so, thank you for that.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great. So don't forget, guys, we have another session on the next month, beginning of the month, the first Monday, or maybe the second Monday, depend on the calendar. So we see you again, and we will inform you again on our regular post. And see you guys. Thank you, Yas, and also all the other people. Bye bye.
Bye bye.